Okay, I think we are ready to start. Hi, everybody. Gabriel, Coca, Delia, Maria, hi. How are you? I do not think we have communicated via email before, but my name is Walid. I'm the Education USA advisor in Cairo with Mrs. Yasmin. I wanted first to introduce who we are to the attendees. Some of them usually come for the first time and they stay. They like what we do and they stay. So we just like to introduce what we do in the beginning so they will know how we can help throughout the year. Hello, everybody. My name is Walid Al-Tarabulsi. I'm Education USA advisor at Amirist in Egypt. Education USA, for those of you who are not familiar with it, we are an advising program sponsored by the State Department of USA. And we operate worldwide in around 170 countries, almost 470 centers. So here in Egypt, we have two centers. We have the one in Cairo and we have the one in Alexandria. In Alexandria, our colleague, Ms. Heba Abu Khalifa, is the one present over there. And we can definitely assist you in anything related to higher education in USA. Education USA is the official source of information for higher education in USA. So anything related to that, we're more than happy to help whenever you communicate with us. Throughout every month, we put out sessions such as the one we have today. Sometimes we present it themselves. Sometimes we ask for collaborations with colleagues from various esteemed universities, such as the ones we have for you today. Today, we are hosting University of California system and represented by 4 campuses. And I believe I can leave them to talk about it the best. I wouldn't be able to do it justice. So guys, the floor is yours. And we will be taking questions later towards the end. Thank you for today. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning from the sunny side of California, everybody. Hi. We do have a slide deck that we want to use. Should we manage it or would you like to?
I'm sorry, come again?
We do have a slide deck, a PowerPoint slide deck. Would you like to manage that or should we?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. All yours.
Got it. I've got it up and running, guys. Do you want me to play it? Perfect. All right. And I guess we should start with the fun and excitement that is introduction. So Gabby, get us started.
All right. So good evening and welcome everybody. Thank you for making time to listen to us today. And my name is Gabby Shmegan. I'm the Assistant Director for Sponsored Student Programs at UC Santa Cruz in the International Student Office. I'm originally from Germany. I came to the US as an international student, probably before most of you were born. And I was very fortunate to be going to graduate school in the US and then received a job at the University of Minnesota in the International Student Office and have been working with international students ever since. And I am also, as part of my job, I'm working closely with graduate and undergraduate admissions, even though I don't admit anybody or deny admission to anybody. So I'm very happy about that. And my colleague, Maria Lasgon-Zavala, and I have been traveling throughout the Middle East together for a number of years now. And we are always very happy to be engaging with students and parents and everybody in the Middle East and North Africa. Dalia, do you want to take it from here with introductions?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Masa al-khair, assalamu alaikum. I'm Dalia Wardani. I'm Associate Director of International Admissions at the University of California, Davis. What I do, pretty much like the rest of my colleagues, I evaluate and recruit international students from all over the world, but I do probably specialize in the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. Egypt has a special place in my heart because my parents are from there. They immigrated to the United States before I was born. I know Egypt very well, miss it a lot, really wish that we could be able to be there with you in person, see your faces and visit your schools. This year's a funky year. We're gonna ride it out and be patient. But I'm excited to share with you all about the University of California, and I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. And I'll toss it to Maria.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us and welcome to this event. My name is Maria Lascon-Zavala. I am an assistant director and international specialist working for the University of California, Berkeley. I was born in Mexico. I came to the United States and did my secondary and high school education there. With the opportunities that I found that higher education had in the United States, I then found myself being involved in education. So I started my education career a long time ago. I've been working with undergraduate students for quite a number of years, but my passion has been always working with international students because I realized the importance that opportunities are for advancement, especially in competitive universities. So I've been working for the undergraduate admissions for more than 25 years, and I've had the opportunity to travel to a couple of countries to get to know the cultures, get to know the interest of a lot of students, and also get to know all the qualifications and the wonderful availability and capacity that students have that in terms of their desire to study in the United States. I'm very happy to be here, and I hope you find this very helpful. Welcome.
Last but not least, hi everyone, I'm Cuca Acosta. I'm the Associate Director for Admission in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at the University of California, Santa Barbara, or UCSB. As you probably see, we all have University of California at the start of our title, and that is because we are a 9-campus undergraduate system. Santa Barbara happens to be located in the southern part of California, about 160 kilometers north of Los Angeles. I myself work with our freshmen and our transfer prospective undergraduate students. I'm happy to answer questions about us, but the reality is today we're talking about the fun and excitement that is research. So I do want to talk about research, but my colleagues are going to get us started. So we'll start off with, what is research?
Great. So it's me, Gabby, again. And if you could just put the first slide up there. What is a research university? It's got a really fun picture of what our marketing team thinks is research, which is lots of books kind of thrown around there on a bookcase, and then some researcher who is very prominent in genomic research, so human genomes, staring at the skull of one of our ancestors and being very pensive about it. But next slide, please. There are more than 4,800 higher education institutions in the United States. The map shows the institutions that have an academic library, which most of the pretty much any four-year institution would have an academic library. So this is kind of representative of where you would find the most higher education institutions, pretty much in the more populated areas of the United States, concentrated at the East Coast, Central, Midwest location, and then again on the West Coast. Of the 4,800 higher education institutions, less than 100 are actually considered to be real research universities. And of those 100, about 65 of the leading research universities are admitted into a very exclusive club, which is the Association of American Universities. And basically, this organization keeps track of higher education policies, sets higher education policy, sets the priorities for higher education in the US, and also it defines what is best practice in teaching and research and student well-being. The 65 or the 100 universities that are research universities are getting most of the US government funded research grants, and they work on projects to improve public health, to address national challenges and also international challenges, while educating and training future leaders and innovators as part of their missions. And in order, a lot of times when I'm speaking to students or parents, they always ask about rankings. So there are, with those 4,800 universities and even the 100 research universities, a lot of times rankings are used to make sense of what a good university is, quote unquote good. And what you should know about the rankings, like QS rankings, Times Higher Education, US News and World Report, or the academic ranking of world universities, is that research universities, rather than liberal arts colleges or other higher education institutions, figure always prominently on those lists as research impact and research output are key ranking metrics. So just because, I mean, we're talking about people or universities that are on those lists, but just because they're, you might be interested or hear about a university that's not on the list, it doesn't mean that that university is a bad university. It's just that the list, those rankings basically predominantly address research universities. Next slide, please. So higher options for higher education in the US are basically, could be community colleges, junior colleges, private, mostly private liberal arts colleges or liberal arts colleges, and public research universities. The most common options are the 2-year associate's degree that's offered by community and junior colleges. Those often offer specific job skills programs, like they can train you to be a law enforcement officer, or they offer skills like cooking, culinary school, hospitality. They also provide education in the basic sciences and liberal arts requirements, but they're awarding a degree after 2 years. Liberal arts colleges offer 4-year undergraduate degrees only. So when you go to a liberal arts college, you will get a bachelor's degree after 4 years, but that's it. You can't go on with your education at that particular college. Research universities offer the entire ladder of educational options in higher education. They offer the 4-year undergraduate, a bachelor degree, a master's degree or several master's degrees, doctorate degrees, and then after the doctorate degree comes the postdoc research experience. So research universities are committed to provide an education for their students that combines classroom learning with opportunities to contribute to new insights, knowledge, and innovation already beginning in the first year of undergraduate studies. So right when you come out of high school, you become a freshman or first-year student, you will get opportunities, or you can prepare your own research project at research universities under supervision of a research of a professor. So that's really exciting. Rather than those specific job preparation skills that you might get somewhere else, like culinary school or law enforcement school, You will learn skills at research universities that can be transferred to a variety of careers and professions, such as critical thinking skills, problem solving, leadership skills, and many, many more. Now, this is not to say that you won't learn anything at a research university. You get the academic experience, and but you also will have a more comprehensive experience than just looking at books, studying. You will have hands-on research experience. So in addition to learning in the classroom, having lectures, having discussions, reading textbooks, you're encouraged to assist faculty on original research projects in actually existing labs. So that's actually a very, very exciting thing. You can help foster new knowledge, innovation already when you're an undergrad. So research activities therefore become part of the classroom learning and of the overall learning experience. While faculty, professors, instructors at research universities certainly teach and they also advise senior students, the primary responsibility of faculty members at a research university is to engage in research and to publish papers. So when you start your undergraduate education, you will often be in a large classroom in introductory lectures. Those are often typically given by a professor. But then to break up those large lectures, there will be smaller discussion or lab sections. And those are not facilitated typically by the professor. They're facilitated by a teaching assistant who is most commonly a PhD student. The more you advance in your education, so the closer you get to graduating with your bachelor degree, the smaller the class sizes get, and the more classes you will actually have that are taught by a professor. So it goes from large classes to fairly small classes. So in contrast to that, there is the undergraduate experience at a liberal arts college. Class sizes are typically very small, 16 to 20 students, and classes are taught by professors. There are certainly research activities at liberal arts colleges. However, the primary responsibility for professors is teaching and advising, not necessarily research. Funding for liberal arts colleges comes from tuition and fees, as well as endowments and donor gifts. Often research universities are public universities who are engaging in research to benefit the public good. That's part of the mission, whether it be addressing sources of poverty, food insecurity, how to utilize nanoparticles to cure cancer, or finding ways to combat global climate change, or finding black holes in space, or genomics research and finding our ancestors. Some examples of private research universities include Stanford, Harvard, Columbia University, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT. Research universities partner with the US government, sometimes also with foreign governments. They partner with the US military and also businesses to identify and solve problems and advance innovation. If you've heard of Silicon Valley here in California, in the Bay Area, it's a term that's typically used to describe the location where most of the best known high-tech companies are. But when you look at Silicon Valley at its very beginning, it started out as a strong collaboration between Stanford University, one of the private research universities, and the technology and the business sector. So it's an outgrowth of that, which is really, really exciting. Funding for public research universities comes from the state legislature of the state in which they're located. So for the University of California system, it's the state of California legislature that allocates some funding, as well as federal research grants, and also to a lesser extent, private donors. My colleagues, as you already heard on the panel, and we represent the University of California system of public research universities. Some of the things we're all familiar with have been invented either through the UC system, such as the flu vaccine, or the wetsuit when you go diving or surfing, or they have been invented at other public research universities, such as the black box flight recorder. So there is an integral relationship between a research university with its mission of teaching and research and actually applying technology and moving innovation further. So now I'm turning things over to my colleague Dalia, who will explain the benefits of doing research as an undergraduate student.
Thanks, Gabby. I love all those examples you provided of research that has been conducted, really awesome examples. And Gabby touched a little bit on the benefits of doing research. I'll go a little bit more in depth. So I have to be really honest with you. When I was growing up and going through school, I was a little intimidated by the concept of research. And I had a good handful of misconceptions about what research was. I sort of just decided or made a judgment in my mind that research is something that you do if you are going into the medical field or in technology or psychology, but it wasn't for anything that I was interested in. I was a liberal arts girl and I just didn't feel like research was going to matter to me, and that was completely false. So if anyone's out there in the audience thinking like that, I'm hoping that we're going to dispel some of those myths and misconceptions for you today. Research, one of the main reasons we do it and why you should absolutely seek it out is that it enables you to have exposure to your future career, no matter what your interest is or whatever your dream career is in your mind. Whether you are in the STEMs, which are probably most famous for having research opportunities, or anything unrelated, anything in the arts and the humanities. So I have this pretty picture on this slide of this cute girl standing in front of a coffee shop menu. This is Julie. She's a real student. She is a UC Davis student, and her research project, she was majoring in managerial economics, and so she's interested in going into a career in business. And her research project had to do with restaurants, because her dream career is to eventually become a restaurateur and own her own successful restaurant. So she did a research project where she studied a sample of about 50 restaurants in Davis, California, and she looked at their menus. And she really wanted to understand how restaurant owners and managers use and manipulate menu design to get people to order the things they want them to order. And then she also looked at some other things about food production and about pricing of different dishes on the menu. And in doing so, she gained a lot of skills, relevant skills, and things that would help her develop as a future professional. She worked on her critical thinking and her analytical skills, and she developed some really awesome time management skills. She even learned some computer programming to be able to manipulate the data that she was gathering from her research. And she worked on business communication. In doing this project, she got to interact with professional restaurant owners and managers, and she's in a sweet position to get her career started. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was kind of an example of, here's a student doing a project in something that my brain can wrap itself around that is not STEM related. So that's just something to keep in mind, that you can explore any career that you are thinking about. And kind of the beauty of studying in the United States is that there's so much flexibility and so much opportunity for students to explore careers. And we kind of just assume that students don't know at age 17 and 18 what they want to do forever for the rest of their life for a career, or need to be locked down to one thing when they first start university. So research is a way to just kind of get your feet wet and have a taste of different career paths before you decide on one forever. The other benefit of doing research is that you get to apply and extend your learning from the classroom. So think about when you're in school right now, if you're in high school, how many times when you're sitting in class listening to the teacher teach, Are you thinking, oh my God, am I ever going to actually use this? This is so irrelevant to my life. I'm never going to have, I've said that so many times, especially in every math class I ever took. How wrong was that? And so research is kind of the way that the world proves to you that no, there really is, there really are practical applications for the things that we learn when we're sitting in a seat in a classroom, and it really will bring the material to life for you and transform the theory into practice. Can we go to the next slide, please, Kuka? Yeah, some more benefits of doing research. You learn how to become an advocate for your own work and defend the things that you've been working on. And so there are so many times in your future careers, inshallah, when you're going to have to make a pitch to a client or to your employer about something that you feel strongly about, and you want to defend your thought process for whatever decisions that you're making. So research at the undergraduate level is just really good practice for doing that, because you have to do it a lot. You get really up close and personal with whatever material you're working with, to the point that if someone were to ask you, what are you doing and why does this matter to the world, you will have an easy time doing that and speaking confidently about the work and how relevant it is. And then this is probably, for me, a huge one, maybe the most important one. When you are going to university or when you're applying for college, your goal is not just getting into college. Your goal really is to get out of college and to start your future careers. So research, things like undergraduate research and resumes, those are the experiences and activities that really do help develop you as a professional and help you to build your CVs, your resumes, before you even graduate college. And so we all know we live in an unfair world where when we get out of college, we've got a diploma in hand and we're going to go out there into the workforce and start interviewing. We want to get a job, and employers are really cutthroat. They're going to be looking at you during the interview and looking at your resume, and they're going to want to see that you already got experience in your field when you're just getting started, and you're sitting there in front of your prospective employer. You're scratching your head and you're thinking, what are you talking about? Where was I going to get this experience? I've been busy. I've been studying. I'm a student. I was taking classes. Here's my transcript. And they're just going to look back at you and say, yeah, your transcript is nice. It's nice that you took all those classes, but how are you going to benefit this company or this organization if you don't already have experience? So they're not going to be very forgiving about that. And so when you do undergraduate research and you put yourself in an environment, a university environment where you have opportunities to access research projects, you will be able to build a CV that has a lot of robust experiences, so that when you graduate, you can hit the ground running and you actually have an answer for that question that they will ask you: what kind of experience do you have? The other cool thing that I think our students are lucky to have at the University of California or any research institution is that when I participate in a research project alongside one of those famous rock star faculty members, and I can choose to publish my work in professional journals. And when I publish an article or my research, that looks really fancy on your resumes. So keep those kind of things in mind. Obviously, it gives you an edge for applying to graduate school or medical school or any professional school after your first 4 years, if you have that kind of experience, and you get to see a direct impact of the learning from your research project on the world. So through the research projects that students do with the University of California, all of those studies can absolutely improve the quality of life for people, no matter where they live in the world, whether they're in California or they're in Egypt. So I see a lot of students who have like a passion for improving things in their home countries. Let's take Egypt for an example. Say you want to improve air quality, or you want to study the impact of climate or air pollution on Egypt's historical landmarks, or you want to figure out what's the issue with Cairo traffic and how can we improve it. So there's research projects that you could do and absolutely apply back in your home country if you choose to do that. And it's fun. So I kind of think of research, if we compare it to what we do now in high school and secondary school, it's sort of like the elective that you do in high school. So in school all day, we're taking the core subjects, we're taking math and English and science and history, but we look forward to that period during the day or whenever it shows up in the week, where we get to explore our interests and develop our passion projects. So at the university level, those research projects that you do, that the time that you spend with your research project is kind of like your elective in college. And it's when you get to completely use a different side of your brain, and you get to feel like you're doing something for yourself. So I think it's fun. And I think that's it for me. To toss it to Maria.
Quick question from our friends in the audience. So the benefits of doing research, we're talking about college research and maybe post-grad, but what if I'm in high school and I'm doing research now? Are there benefits to that in the application process?
Oh, I can totally answer that since I've got the mic. Yeah, it's very impressive. Anything that you can put on your application, if we're talking about the University of California, where we review applicants very holistically, we're going to look at not just your work inside the classroom, but we want to see how you challenge yourself outside the classroom too. So if I see an application and a student is really passionate about some kind of project that he created for himself or herself in high school, it was a research project, and you talk about it on your application, I get to see what's important to you, I get to see what you're good at, and it absolutely tells me that there's other sides to the student than just his grades and his test scores. So we love to see that on your application. And if we're talking about the University of California, there's lots of room on the application for a student to talk about those kind of activities and go in depth about them. So yes.
Very cool. And does it have to be an in-depth research process if I'm in high school? Can it be something small that I do on my own?
Yeah, so I mean, we want you to take advantage of whatever opportunities are in front of you. We understand that you're probably not going to have the same time or opportunity at the high school level to do the kind of intense research projects that our college students do. Do what you can, do what you have time for, that gives you the sense that you're making an impact on yourself or on others, on your community outside of the classroom. And it excites us very much. It's very impressive to us. And I'm gonna add something, that there are also examples at the University of California where students may have started a high school research project in one of your classes or outside of one of your classes, and you get to the college level and you want to see that grow and you want to keep that going. So there's absolutely the opportunity to do that, and our campuses make it easy for students to extend their high school research projects in a collegiate setting. So just something else to add. I think I'm done. Cool.
Yeah. That was cool. I love that. Thank you so much, Malia.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so I get to talk a little bit about research, and when we talk about research at the university standing, so essentially we're asking a question, right? So we're asking, it could be something simple as, hey, what university is the right fit for me? And you're at the moment watching webinars to find what's the right fit. You're doing research. And then it can be more intense. It could be something in a creative arts project. So it could be in a music or a theater department. One of our students that you saw on the slide deck earlier was doing research with composition and music. He writes music, and he's trying to find how music has been interpreted over the course of 3 centuries with regards to, theme and melody, because there are only 100 and something notes. They don't change. What's really exciting is that research or creative arts projects are available in every single major. So if you're looking at a career and you're thinking of engineering, or if you're looking at a career and you're thinking economics, maybe you're thinking that you're really excited about philosophy and history. you can find yourself looking at questions that you have and noting that there are faculty on the university campus that have the responsibility of conducting research themselves. And their goal and ambition is to teach you the fundamentals of the research that they're doing in their class. So it might be like our professor at UC Santa Barbara who was doing research in history. So Professor Gabriela Soto-Levanja. And the concept is, ooh, I'm really excited in what she's doing, but I have a small twist, a tangent. I want it to come from my country, or I want to put a second spin on it. And that's the fun part about being at a research institution, is that you can see examples of research. You don't have to come to the university with I know a question and I need to have that research and I have to do it. No, it's the opportunity to do research that's really exciting. And some of our students will do it based off of family structure. Sade, who is a UC Santa Barbara student who double majored in communication and feminist studies, was really looking at divorce and family life. Now, if I were to tell you, hey, let's do research in communication, would you have said, oh, okay, because that's really common? No, you're thinking lab coat. You're thinking, all right, beakers. You're thinking microscope. That's the common idea of research. And it's fine to go that route, but don't discard your questions in areas in the arts, in the humanities, and in the social sciences. Now, of course, the hard sciences are the easiest to imagine. They're the sexiest when you put it in a brochure or on a website, because it's easy to imagine that particular research happening. But a research or a creative arts project is essentially trying to find an answer to a question that you have. And questions can find ourselves really expanding upon knowledge that is had not just in our own lives, not just in our own family, but also in creative projects that will then be sounding boards for what the next generation happens to have questions on. You're expanding that bubble of knowledge when you're looking at research and creative art projects. So the fun part about doing research is you can do it in any discipline. So think about what you're interested in studying. Think about what might be fun for you to ask as a question yourself. And if you do have a question, note that you could start that at your current high school or your current institution, and note that you can continue that once you come onto a university campus by either finding a faculty member who's in that area themselves. So again, I like history. Let me find a university that has a great history program. Oh, I like history in, Renaissance time. Well, let me look for that research specifically on a faculty member. So note that those projects and those creative arts really are a way for you to find your perfect institution, your right fit. And oftentimes you'll find faculty list their research on their department website. So as you're searching for colleges and universities and you know the area of study and you know you have questions, you can go onto that history webpage. You can go onto that economics webpage or that webpage on, engineering. You can look at the faculty roster. And when you do so, faculty will have bios and share their research. They want to brag about what they've discovered, and they want you to connect with them to see if this institution is the right fit for you. All right, that was simple, that was easy, but we have more questions about academic opportunities. Maria.
Yes, thank you, Kuka. So you guys have been learning a lot about research, and just like everybody else in this panel, I also thought that research was going to be just somebody who was going to be in a laboratory doing things for medical field, for engineering, or maybe for computer sciences, right? Which is a lot of the questions that we get whenever we go visit some of the countries in the world. What kinds of activities or what kinds of research can I do as an engineering? Well, now that we review the applications and all of the things that you put in those applications, we see that a lot of you are already doing a lot of research. Those of you studying the IB curriculum, you have research already done. A lot of you write in your personal insight questions, all the things that you've been doing in terms of finding out specific things, specific answers to your questions, that is considered research. So the opportunities that you will get in in all of the universities in the United States are endless, as long as you have that inquisitive mind of wanting to find out more about specific subjects. Okay, so we're going to touch a little bit about what are the opportunities, how can you get the opportunities, and what are some of the services that the universities have to give you those opportunities once you enroll at the university level. Next, Kuka, please. So in order for you to really connect with a specific research or try to find out the right professor or the professor you want to continue doing research with, it's really important for you to try to find out the academic services that institutions provide. So all of the institutions will have some kind of academic support center. That means that in order for you to get into the appropriate opportunity, you must do well academically, because we don't want you to put the academics in danger or in jeopardy in order for you to focus into something else. Remember what Dalia was saying, the research is the extracurricular activities that you're doing, is the experience that you're getting for your career perspective, but in reality, you're also balancing the academics, right? So whenever you go to the academic support centers at these institutions, you're basically going to be getting services for tutorial programs that would help you keep up those good grades that you need in order for you to do or to get into the right research program. You're also going to be getting advising services. You know, advisors are there to guide you. Let's say, for instance, you come in and you're really positive you want to get into the field of sciences, but then you start taking science classes and you realize it's not really the topic of interest, that rather you were taking a music class and you really like the music, so you were right to go to that route. Well, it's always good for you to talk to advisors, and these academic support centers at the institutions are there to guide you, to give you the opportunity to get the best of your academics, the academic program that you're paying for, so that you can have the best opportunities to get into the proper career once you get out. We also have disability services for students who may have a little bit of a disability in terms of understanding the content, in terms of taking the exams. These services will give you that extra time that you may need in order for you to do well in the exams, to get all the information processed, and to understand all of the concepts that you're being presented in classes. A lot of the institutions also have an international office. This international office focuses specifically in helping or assisting our international population of students. So make sure you find out about these resources. What kinds of things does the international office does in order for you to help you, other than helping you with immigration services and visa statuses? It also gives you a student orientation. And during that orientation, it connects you with all of the advisors. It connects you with some of the instructors, with some of the professors that are going to be teaching your classes, so that you can start developing that connection and understanding what are you going to be dealing with in terms of the academics and with the class selection that you're going to be getting. You would also have the opportunity to get tutorial services in the international office as well, as in advising, and some opportunities for you to do internships. Now remember, all of the connections, the more information you know, the more you get to know about the services offered at the institution, the easier it will be for you to connect with the appropriate person to do the research that you want to do. And research is not just getting into a lab, remember, it's getting the experience, going out there and learning from the person who is out there doing the professional experience that you need in order for you to get the skills that you're searching for. A lot of the institutions also have a very good alumni association. Alumni associations are students who have graduated from those institutions who are there for assistance, who are there to guide you in terms of finding the right connections, in terms of helping you find that internship, that job opportunity, that research opportunity, so that you can then develop all of the skills that you need as well. So try to use that information to get those networks. You know, just like you use all of the social media, and you're very good in doing that, use the Alumni Association to connect with other students who have graduated from those institutions as well. You also have the career centers. Now, it's amazing to know that career centers are there with so much information about career fairs, you know, all those companies that come into the campuses recruiting you, because they know that because you attend these particular institution that focuses in highly developed research, and they have extremely competitive academic programs, that you are a perfect individual for their program. So they come in there with the hope to recruit you and get you into those particular companies. You know, it's amazing to see all of this happening and students not taking advantage of that. So be familiar with what the Career Center offers so that you can take advantage of those resources. The Career Center will help you not just get connected with companies, but also giving you the skills and the support that you need to write a good resume. They provide you resume training so that you can develop your resume, so that when you graduate, you can have that information with you and you can take it so that you can have a good interview and you can get that job that you're looking for right after graduation. We also have a lot of faculty and student connections. Now, there is opportunities for students to start working with faculty the minute that they start enrolling into classes. So make sure you try to get that information accessible. Where can you get this? It's basically offered in all of the different academic majors. So make sure that whenever you start talking to the advisor in your major, you ask about these opportunities to connect with faculty so that you can help them with the project, so that you can know what they're doing and see whether or not these assistants on the projects will guide you and will give you the opportunity for you to extend that knowledge to later on bring on after graduation. And lastly, try to find out the library resources that each institution has. I know that a lot of institutions have excellent librarians and excellent opportunities for you to get the more information that you need in terms of finding the appropriate resources to get that research and that internship that you look for. Okay, next slide, please. So how can you get that opportunity, that you're really looking for? Become resourceful. Every time I talk to students and they say, I'm working on this particular theme about, why are plastic bags not useful in this environment that we need? How does that affect the environmental ecological system? Well, familiarize with programs, attend events. The more information you do on your own, the more you look for certain skills, the more resourceful you're going to become, and the more appropriate you will be in terms of connecting with the person that you want to connect with. Do early research. And just like Dalia was saying, whenever you're applying for different universities, the minute you start looking at the university of your choice, you start doing research. You want to find out whether that university is the proper choice for you, whether that university is going to be the one that's going to give you the best opportunities, right? The same thing you do when you go shopping. You go shopping for a certain specific blouse, and you want to find out if this blouse is the one that's going to make you look the way you want to, or if the other one is. So all the decisions that you make throughout your life, throughout your daily activities, in a way, you're doing some kind of research when you're making that decision. So prepare yourself in advance. Organize information in a way so that when you meet with the advisors and you meet with the professors who are working on the research, you will be prepared. Remember, read information carefully. Knowledge is sacred. The more knowledgeable you are in specific fields, the more you're going to be able to connect and to get those opportunities that you're waiting. Now, there may be individuals, like I was when I got into the university, that I didn't have an idea as to what I wanted to do, right? My main goal was, I like those computer graphics. I like the way they kind of zoom through the screen. I want to be able to do that. But guess what? The minute I took my first computer class, I said, nope, nope, this is not for me. I'm not going to be able to be working in front of a computer for the rest of my life. I need people around me, right? So the more classes you take, the more you noticed about what are some of the things that really give you that passion to continue your interest in certain fields, the more opportunities you can have to increment that accessibility and that knowledge that you're going to develop throughout your careers, in your undergraduate career. So make sure you do that, get to know that. Join student groups. It's another way for you to connect. The more people you know within the institutions, the more opportunities you're going to have to get introduced to different fields, to get to different things that are happening in that institution. So make sure that you start connecting, develop a community. You have to be able to establish a sense of belonging. If you feel comfortable at the institution that you are attending, if you start developing that group and that common ground, you're going to feel a lot easier. You're going to feel a lot better in terms of finding the resources that the institution has. Okay, and by you having have developed that community and that sense of belonging, it helps you then develop the academic plan, because it gives you more security as to what are some of the fields and what are some of the things that really, give you that passion that you want to develop. Next slide, please, Coca. So we're just here to say that the opportunity to research are all around you, and they're given to you the minute that you enrolled in the institutions. So when students come up to me at the table and say, what are my opportunities to do research? As you come in, the minute you enroll in classes, that's the first time that you have that opportunity. So the only way for you to really get connected, like I said, is for you to be that resourceful, to have that resourcefulness and start looking for the opportunities. In other words, research opportunities are not going to come up to you and say, hey, by the way, Maria, would you like to do this? It's no, you're going to start thinking about what are the issues that you really do care for. What are some of the things that you would really like to further understand, so that you can then develop that interest and connect with individuals with the same interest, so you can have the opportunities that you want. So look for the internships available. Getting life professional skills are good for you through those internships, because all of these internships and all of those research opportunities will give you the preparation that you need for the future, just like Dalia was saying. So start to connect with faculty. Okay, familiarize with the projects that the faculty are doing. I was really surprised when I was taking one of my first physical anthropology classes, that the professor that was teaching that class was so passionate about, all of the information that he was teaching. And then later on, when I was reviewing the book and I was reading the book, I noticed the book was written by this instructor that was teaching me in the class. And not only that, I realized that this instructor was the one who had discovered the first human being altogether in the whole history of the humanoid. So I was really impressed with that. And I thought, my goodness, I'm really taking a class with this individual who is out there in the field doing all the research, writing about the things that he's learning, and I am learning it directly from him. So that's the type of opportunities that you are going to have whenever you come to these universities that offer so much opportunities in terms of research understanding and participation as well. So what are some of the things that you need to do to be able to get those opportunities? Take initiative, get involved, volunteer as much as possible. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already doing that in high school or at the present school that you're going. So the more opportunities you have, the more interest and the more you develop, and the more clearer it is for you. What are some of the things that will give you the skills and the opportunities to do the career that you want. So make sure you take that that initiative. Make sure you get all of those ideas created so that you can then present them to the instructors. You'll be surprised whenever I talk to the faculty members and they say, my office hours are from this day on to that day on, but I hardly get to see, you know, the students coming to talk to me. And that is very true. If you really want to take advantage of all the educational services and the opportunities that the institutions have, take advantage of the office hours. Get to know the instructors on a one-to-one basis, because you never know which one of those professors or those faculty members could be the person that's going to connect you to your future career. Okay, and with that, you can develop.
Oh, sorry. On that topic, Maria, can you email them even if you're not a student yet?
Yes, yes. You know, you can actually contact the universities, log into our websites, try to find out the faculty member that you're really interested in, and you can start connecting with those faculty members or those professors even before you apply, so that when you start that connection and you get accepted into the university, you already have that connection developed. So yes, you know, by all means do that. And you know, try to develop that academic and that professional cohort so that you can have that opportunity and the best way for you to get into the proper field of your choice. Okay, so with this, we go to the next slide. So now that you know what are some of the opportunities, we're going to get more in detail as to how each of our campuses provide you with those opportunities. So for UC Berkeley, we do have an excellent academic support in which we have a center for you, the Student Learning Center, that gives you all the opportunities to connect with all of the different research opportunities that you have. We have the CE3 Center, which is the Center for Educational Equity and Excellence, that will also connect you with all of the different resources in terms for you to find out the services, not just for students who are first generation, students who are underrepresented, students who have difficulty in learning, students who are re-entry students, students who are veteran students. All of those services are there for you to take advantage of. We have the Disabled Student Program, who works very closely with students who may have some disability in terms of, you know, understanding the concepts being taught. They get tested, they get you assistance, they give you all of the help that you need in order for you to get the academics that you are so needy, so that you can get the research opportunities that you want. We also have residential faculty programs in which faculty members are living in the dorms to help you and give you that extra assistance that you need. So make sure that, you know, you get information about this, so that if you do get admitted into UC Berkeley and you live in one of these dormitories, you take advantage of the opportunities given to you at the, you know, in the place where you're living as well. We have advising assistants in all the colleges. At UC Berkeley, we have 6 different colleges: the College of Engineering, College of Chemistry, Letters and Science, and that the College of Architecture, the College of High School of Business, and the College of Chemistry as well. All of those different colleges will give you the opportunity to meet with the advisors and to start talking about an academic plan that you have, so that then you can start looking as to when you're going to be fitting that research opportunity and that internship that you are looking for. We have EOP advising, so like I said, we have services for veteran, we have services for athletics. Step by step, it's a very good program that works with students who are in the process of getting graduated from the university and who are presently thinking of applying to graduate school. So they would work with you in terms of finding out which way is the best way for you to present yourself in the application, and how to develop your resume and your insight questions so that you can have a better probability of admissions. And then we have Berkeley Connect. Berkeley Connect is the way for students to teach other students. These are classes taught by students for new incoming students, so that you can get the assistance that you need from somebody who have gone through the same processes that you have or that you will be going. The Hours Office is the Office of Undergraduate Research and Scholarships that will give you all the different ways for you to get the type of research that you're looking for, the requirements, and all of the assistance that you're going to be needing in terms of getting that particular opportunity for your choice. Once again, we also have the Bio Office, which is the Berkeley International Office, that is willing to help with you and give you the assistance and all of the services that you may need, not just academics, but also in terms of finding that opportunity you're looking for. And the Career Center. Once again, get familiar with the services so that you can take the best advantage of all of those services to get the education that you're looking for and the experience that you need to get that job of your dreams. Okay? And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Dahlia to talk about the opportunities at UC Davis.
Thanks, Maria. So at Davis, in addition to a lot of those campus resources that Maria talked about, we have the Office of Undergraduate Research. It's a center where basically students walk in, and their job is to match you with different research opportunities at the UC Davis campus. And you can either go in there with an idea already in your mind about what kind of research you want to do, or you could go in there and say, here's what I'm interested in. Help me sift through this world of different studies, research projects, and find me one that will excite me. So if I have an idea to do a research project that's within my field of study, something that is related to my major, they will have a database already available in the research center that you can go through, like a catalog, and see if there's something that's existing already in progress that you can hop in on. Or maybe you want to do a research project about something completely unrelated to your major. So again, what I think is pretty cool about the United States education system is that maybe I'm majoring in engineering, but I'm also really interested in psychology. So I want to do a research project in psychology, but not necessarily to the extent of wanting to sign up for a whole major. And they will absolutely facilitate those things for you. At UC Davis, it's a really easy process. Over 70% of our students will do at least one research project before they graduate. And when you are part of a research institution, when you are a student at a research institution, it's kind of expected that all students are going to want to embark on a research project at some point in their career. And we really do rely on our students to support the research that we have going on. We also have a mentorship program where we will pair students, undergrad students in their second and third year. We will pair you with graduate students who are doing master's or PhD, and they will be like your buddy through the system and help you navigate the world of research and understand how to approach a research project, how to begin the process of approaching a faculty member to ask to be an assistant on a research that they already have in progress. And they'll help you with your analytics skills. It'll help you with your inquiry skills and how to ask questions that will be the basis for whatever research you're embarking on. And then we have an annual conference. It's the annual Research and Creative Activities Conference at Davis, which to me in my mind is like a really big collegiate level science fair. So a lot of high schools and elementary schools have an event every year, like a science fair, where students will conduct a mini research project, and they will go out and share it with the school community, and they will receive an evaluation for it, and they get to brag about the research that they did. So this is an event that we have on campus every year that all of the students, no matter what they're majoring in, no matter what area their research was in, they get very excited about, because it's an opportunity for them to finally show off the culmination of their research that they've been working on for months or maybe even years. So it's like these projects, when you get so intimate with the research that you do for many, many months or even longer, they become like your baby. So it becomes very important to you, you're passionate about it. And so when you have an opportunity to share it with others, it's very exciting. And so there's a lot of recognitions that happen as a result of this annual conference. There are awards given, and it's huge. And it's something that we look forward to every year. Next slide, please. Thanks, Kuka. Also, we have some destination research institutes. Some of these are not even on the UC Davis campus, but they are centers that are affiliated with UC Davis that our students at the undergrad or graduate level are able to go and conduct their research at these facilities and or do internships at these facilities. One of them is the Bodega Marine Laboratory. Bodega is a coastal town in Northern California. It's right on the Pacific Ocean, and it's a residential center where UC Davis undergrad students can go and live there for several weeks and study things like marine biology, oceanography, marine mammals. They learn about the importance of the ocean on our lives, and you can even study diving and boat safety at this center, and it's absolutely beautiful because the location of the center is just, the view is crazy awesome right on the Pacific Ocean. And then we also have the Tahoe Environmental Research Center located in Lake Tahoe, California, up in the mountains by the Sierra Nevada mountains, and they have a boat that floats on the lake. Lake Tahoe is known worldwide for having some of the cleanest, clearest water on the planet, and they study aquatic science and environmental science and just how to keep water quality as good as possible, and that's something that matters to people all over the world. We have the Robert Mondavi Institute for Wine and Food Science. This is an institute that people travel from all over the world to come visit and be a fly on the wall of the research that's ongoing at the institute. They study things like food science, olive oil, honey, food engineering, which is really important because we all have to eat. And let's be honest, artificial ingredients just taste better. So that's something that you can also do an internship at and conduct research at. And then my favorite is the UC Davis Mind Institute. And that's a place, it's located in Sacramento, California. And they study all things related to the mind, psychology, cognitive science, neurological disorders, and how to treat those. Our students can do internships there and work with autistic students. Literally, and sorry for the pun, the research that they do at the Mind Institute is mind-blowing. So I really encourage you to take a look at it. Go onto the websites of all of these centers so you can learn more in depth about the kinds of work that they do there. I think that's all for me so far. Yeah, toss it to Kuka. I mean, not Kuka, sorry, Gabby.
Great, thank you, Dahlia. So let me just talk briefly about what we offer at UC Santa Cruz, some of the undergraduate research opportunities and highlights. And you'll see a theme with all of us in the UC system, the support systems that we have, the resources that we have, and kind of the research that we're doing. So UC Santa Cruz is mostly known for its Genomics Institute, so the human genome.
Right now, it's the 20th anniversary of putting the entire human genome on the internet for anybody to look at and do research with. UC Santa Cruz faculty also were key contributors to the discovery of the Higgs boson, which is particle physics that I don't understand anything about, but it's very important. We're also pioneers in sustainable agriculture, food security, in that movement. And if you are interested in reading long Victorian novels, we are also the center of the Dickens universe, meaning that we put on a annual conference where people from all kinds of disciplines come together and they read two very long novels. One of them is always by Charles Dickens. So lots and lots of different research and lots of different areas. Some of the questions that we had previously were, you know, how do I get engaged with research and what helps me get into a research university? Like most other UC campuses, if not all UC campuses, we do offer at Santa Cruz research opportunities for high school students, including international students. So we have a STEM science internship program, and you apply to that program, and basically it's a 10-week intensive experience. You live on campus like a student, and you would participate in actual research. It's not, you know, research that's just put on for the internship program, but it's actual research projects that are currently going on with UC Santa Cruz faculty. And I'm sure that many of the my colleagues at the other UC campuses have something similar going on there as well. Next slide, please. And then how do you find research opportunities? Again, with UC Davis, UC Berkeley, we talked about undergraduate research opportunities. So I just wanted to highlight, you can click on this link for any of our campuses. This is the UC Santa Cruz link. And basically, it shows you a database of all the opportunities for research, for undergraduate research that are going on in all disciplines, including humanities. So each of our campuses has something similar. It also talks about research ethics, what you can and cannot do, what you should and should not do when you do research. There's information about independent research options. And then you can also join an existing lab or research group already. And one of the other benefits of doing research as an undergraduate student that we hadn't talked about quite yet, but you can also, for your research project, you can also get a financial award. Typically those are like undergraduate research opportunities program awards, or they're named after a particular person. They're not very large, so it's not going to be tens of thousands of dollars. It won't fund your education, but it's just a little bit of money to help you to get some acknowledgement of becoming a future budding scientist and of the professional responsibilities that you're already undertaking. For advanced undergraduate students, again, how do you join research? We have a STEM summer research program. So if you're in your 3rd or 4th year as an undergraduate, you can join a lab, you can apply to this program. And just like the high school students previously, you can be engaged in an actual lab setting with actual lab research. Maria talked about the Career Center at Berkeley. The Career Centers at all of our universities are happy to chat with students about what they would like to do in their future, what kind of things they can do with their major and outside of their major. So career centers are really important resources at research universities that can help you also develop how you talk about your experience when you go and apply for jobs in the future. And then the last thing that's really important in accessing research and in getting opportunities, and which is for a lot of international students always the most intimidating or uncomfortable aspect sometimes, is networking with professors. In a lot of countries, professors at universities have a very, very high esteem. And of course they do that. They have high esteem and reputation in the US as well. But professors in the US are very, very approachable. They have office hours. Even if they do research, they often have office hours. You should go by there. You should find out more who they are, what makes them passionate about what they're doing research on, and get to know them, and they can get to know you too. And that's often a very good way to get into existing research opportunities, even if they're not promoted anywhere widely. So talking to professors, talking to your instructors is a really, really good way to also be involved in getting research opportunities. And this is pretty much it for me. So
thanks, Gabby. All right, one slide left, one presenter left. You're almost there, you guys. We can make it. The University of California, Santa Barbara, and specifically our research options and opportunities. I only listed 3 because realistically what you're going to find is that these are the umbrella programs at the University of California, Santa Barbara. We're very lucky that over half of our undergraduate students are part of research projects that are on campus, either funded through IRCA, I know, acronyms, you've already seen some of them, they don't make sense, our Undergraduate Research and Creative Arts Grant, where we fund your undergraduate research. We pay you money to do your research with a faculty member. It gives you an option and opportunity to really find, again, your questions to your answers. FRAP for us is our Faculty Research Assistance Program. It's where we pay faculty on our campus to keep a space open in their lab or creative project for you, the undergraduate student. And then Eureka, which is our early undergraduate research experience, which is an opportunity for our students to look at the STEM fields and find themselves early on in their freshman year getting involved in research. Most students will find that research projects that are federally funded will have restrictions when it comes to students that are international. Like a visa might be something that is going to hinder a student from a top secret national research clearance. But there's always ways around that. And that's the fun and excitement for our students, is that research is one way and a paid internship is one way to get involved, but a creative project could be another. And at UCSB, we have our Mcnair Scholars Program that allows our students the opportunity to get involved in research projects with their faculty member, either as an affiliate so that they're part of the research lab, but they're maybe not on the security clearance side. We also have many of our students really excited about the opportunity to look at the creative arts projects. So for my creative artists out there, do not lose heart. If you're that dancer that wants to know about synthetic fabrics and how they change your body temperature as you're dancing, I've got a space for you. If you're that musician who wants to know about how sound and echoes will change the emotion that's felt to your audience, we've got a space for you. Our undergraduate students and their profiles are on our student spotlight. You'll see the 2 pages for you listed on the screen. You'll also find that one of the things that's important is that you can have the idea that you want to go to a research institution because you want to be part of that new knowledge as it's being discovered. But notice that the University of California, we're a system. We're siblings. Yes, we love each other. Hugs, 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 right? And we do a lot of interdisciplinary work. So when Gabby was talking about the Higgs boson, I'm going to probably brag about it as well, because one of my 6 Nobel laureates is in, 3 of my 6 Nobel laureates are physicists. So they're working on that project, right? When we're talking about wine and Dahlia up in Davis, well, you know what? Wine, about 20% of the grapes that go up to the winemakers in Dahlia's area are coming from Santa Barbara, and our faculty are working on that. Interdisciplinary. That is one of the coolest things about being part of a University of California research institution, is that I can work with faculty across disciplines. UCSB and UCLA both happen to have a California Nanosystems Technology grant that's being shared, right? There's so much there. So one of the things we want you to recognize is that, yes, we're individual universities. Santa Barbara's campus happens to be, Southern California. It's more of a suburban area. And you might go, no, I don't think so. But the research that's happening might change your mind. And the fact that it's interdisciplinary will open your mind to so many options and opportunities. I will brag one last point, and that is this, that many of our students have an idea that they might want to go to a research institution, but they do not want to be part of a research experiment leading it. That's a little scary. Well, don't worry, you can be a subject in my research projects instead. In fact, many of our students in their freshman and sophomore year will find themselves being paid to do research projects. I, as a freshman, was a psychology research project participant. I spoke more than one language, para mí, español es mi segundo idioma. And I got paid to be able to sit in a lab and answer questions in Spanish. Phenomenal. And you can now say you are part of research, and you're like, okay, that wasn't so scary. So the concept of research and creative arts, don't be scared by it. Be excited by the fact that you're part of new knowledge and discoveries. And on that fun and exciting note, I do know that we have probably about 10 minutes-ish for questions. Did we answer all of your questions? I don't think we did. So ladies, I want to go back to some of the questions that were asked, and I need your help on this one. Okay. So at what stage should you speak about your high school research in a college essay or an interview? I'm going to start with Maria. Maria, explain the whole fact of interviews in the University of California, will you?
Okay, so unfortunately, because of the UC system being the way that we are and getting all the applications that we get, we don't have an interview per se, but we do have a space in the UC application for you to really talk about what it is that you're doing, and that is the personal insight question section. So within that questions, you're going to be getting the opportunity to select from 8 different questions, 4 in which you really think that you will give us the most information about. You can talk about your challenges, you can talk about your experiences, you can talk about your achievements, and in that section, you can really discuss all of the research opportunities that you're doing. Tell us what it is that got you into that research. Tell us why you're doing the research. What have you learned throughout the process? Tell us what have you accomplished and what do you intend to do? That way we get to see not just the intention, but the dedication that you show for that particular research. We also see the motivation that you have, and we see the prospective future from that. So the more information you give us in those particular insight questions area, the more information we're going to get so that we can do a better assessment. So there is options for you to talk about that in the application itself. Okay.
Awesome.
Can I add a little bit to what Maria was saying? I saw that a lot of questions on the chat about like, basically, how do I know if the research project or whatever I did in high school is going to matter? Is it going to be good enough? How do I know it's going to meet your criteria and impress the University of California if you're choosing to apply to the UC system? And the answer is there's no wrong answer. We call them personal insight questions because they're personal. And so if it matters to you, it matters to us. Your challenge is just to talk about it and to brag about it and to explain to us why it matters so much to you and why is this impactful in your life or other people's lives. So there's no good enough or not good enough. If it's an activity that you were involved in or a research project that you did in high school and it was meaningful to you, we will care about it and we'll be impressed by it.
All right, Gabby, question. If I do a research summer program at your school, does that guarantee me admission?
Oh, I wish it did. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but it makes you much more competitive, meaning it gives you, when the admissions committee reads your application, they can see that you already have experience on a university campus, and they will look at that very positively. But with the number of applications and the limited amount of space, not every wonderful student that we would like to see on campus can come to campus, but it certainly doesn't hurt to come to our campus for the summer.
All right, Maria, question for you. What about group projects and that are not research based? Should I add those into my application?
If you want to put that as part of the personal insight questions, we also have in the application an additional additional comments or additional information section in which you can make a reference to those particular projects that you're interested in doing. Don't give us a lot another essay in that particular field, but make sure you address it. Tell us why it's important to you and what got you interested in doing that particular project.
All right, Dahlia, if I don't have research as a high school student, can I still be admitted?
You can absolutely be admitted. There's a lot of different spaces on the UC application where you can talk about a variety of things. I mean, it's like been ages, but I didn't have any research projects when I was in high school, and not everybody will. I mean, we just want to see that students have taken advantage of the opportunities that were in front of them. And in a high school setting, those are going to be different from one school to another school. If you don't have the kind of setup at your school where you can do research, but you participate in other things like sports or the arts or drama or science club, and you want to talk about that on your application, it's all valid. There's no wrong answer to this. So it's not going to disadvantage you in any way to not have an existing research project that you have developed in high school. We're waiting for you to come to our campuses so we can expose you to all of the research. Yeah.
It looks like we answered everybody's questions. Unless you've got a question still, type it in the chat box now. Otherwise, we could end with some parting notes and wisdom that we want to share as our students are preparing, one, for the Open of the University of California application for the class of 2021. It does open on, drum roll, August 1st. So yeah, the August 1st UC application. All right, points of pride, wisdom. Maria, kick us off.
Just be yourself, be unique. Make sure that you choose a campus that will give you the opportunities that you're looking for, and continue the best preparation that you can have.
Dahlia.
With regard to college applications, I mean, right now, we talked a little bit about this. You are in a time of your life where you need to be doing a ton of research and homework about all the different post-secondary opportunities that there are in front of you in Egypt, outside of Egypt, in all different countries of the world. There's outstanding institutions everywhere, but keep in mind when you are researching, in addition to finding a spot that has your field of study, you need to shop for an institution with the assumption that this place is going to be your home for at least the next 4 years of your life. It's not just a place where you're going to be taking classes. So it really needs to be a good fit for you in all different aspects, in the academic aspect, but also in the personal, the human aspect, in the geographic aspect, and in the financial aspect. Good luck.
Gabby.
Good question. I would say don't look at the application for college as a scary thing. We want to know who you are, and we can't go to everybody, sit in your living room, unfortunately, and meet your parents and meet you and meet your friends and find out who you are. So we have to have a system in gathering that information, and the application is is our way of gathering the information. The other thing is we do ask for, you know, your grades in school and all kinds of other things. We look at everything holistically, meaning everything will be looked at. There is no one single thing that will say, oh, because your school didn't have research options, that's why you won't come to the UC system, or because you got a interesting grade in a subject in high school, you can't come here. We look at everything. My colleagues in admission on any of the campuses understand different countries' high school systems and different high schools. And so don't get discouraged. The first step is always the hardest, but you'll never know. You might be the next Nobel Prize winner in physics.
Oh, I would love to be a Nobel Prize winner, Gabby, but it's not going to be in physics. Some of us should never do science. Just put that out there. Here's my advice. Be tenacious. I can tell you about one of my students who in his freshman year was really adamant, I want to be in a research lab. And he knocked on doors and he emailed faculty before he even started his first day. And normally freshmen don't get into high profile labs, but he got into Joe Incandela's lab, who's the lead researcher for the Higgs boson. And the next thing you know, he was hired for an internship by SpaceX and they asked him to come back. And now he's in a different lab doing, bioengineering work. And wow, it snowballed. Why? Because he kept asking questions. He was tenacious. He didn't let the fact that he wasn't from California make a difference. He didn't let the fact that he was, 17 and a freshman make a difference. He had a passion, he had an interest. Be the person who asks questions, who asks for help, and know that you're not in this alone. We are all up at this time of the day to answer your questions, to be a resource for you. So on behalf of the whole system, thank you for joining us. Thank you for asking questions. We hope that you'll continue to discover the University of California and our individual campuses. And with that, anything on the EdUSA front that we should know about before we end?
Ladies, thank you ever so much for providing us with such information. I wanted to let you know that this hard work is not going away anytime soon. We're currently recording it for other students within the MENA region as well, so they can be aware of the information regarding University of California. And I second everything that you've mentioned here. I personally have an acquaintance, an Egyptian guy who actually went to UC called Omar Ashur, and he is doing a PhD in physics as well, and he used to do research on the undergraduate level. So I understand how important it is, and I understand as well that kids these days need to understand that the application indeed isn't scary, Gabby. It's just a system where the admission just collects the information in a coherent way. So whatever the theme that you're using to highlight things on your application, this is what's going to stand out. Otherwise, everything you mention is going to be taken into consideration, whether it's research in your high school, something that you've done in the country here, or something that you're willing to do as well in the future. Thank you again, ladies, so much. And I see someone sent something at the end. Selma, is that a question? What aspect can are we interested in more than one UC campus? Okay. Okay. I think Selma is asking, how can she pick between really good, different UC campuses? How can she choose?
I'll take that one. So we want you to apply to more than one UC. So the University of California, because we're a system, there's more things in common between our campuses than are different. You can't go wrong at any of our campuses. Like really, the way you make that decision is just by doing a little bit of homework and research and understanding the geographic locations of the different campuses. Make sure that we have your field of study that you're interested in. But beyond that, it's your choice. The UC application makes it so easy for students to apply to more than one of us. We think it's a really good idea to apply to maybe 4 to 5. We see students applying to all the UCs. What I want to say is that don't make the mistake that some students make and only apply to 1 or 2 based on name recognition. There's a lot of students who maybe have dreamt of UCLA all their life and they only apply to UCLA, and sometimes math happens and it doesn't work out for them, and we don't want that to happen to you. So we want you to apply broadly throughout the system. You only have to fill out the application one time and we share it, just like sisters in a family. We all gather, no, we don't gather together, but we can all see the information. We'll be able to make our own independent decisions. Sometimes you can get into one and not another. You can get into all of them, none of them. So if you want to better your chances of being admitted, apply broadly, apply to multiple UC campuses, and just do some homework and research and learn about what are the different experiences at each of the UC campuses. We each, here Cook is showing us, we each have our own independent websites, and you can just go to town in there and learn all about the different majors that we have and what it's like to live in that part of California. California is a really big state, and so we're lucky because we have UC campuses sprinkled from north to south. Davis is all the way in Northern California, all the way down to UC San Diego in the south. So you have a lot of options. So don't limit yourself. This is really an easy opportunity for you to take advantage of the multiple options that are available in the system. Hopefully I answered that.
Thank you, Dalia. That was very thorough. Okay, do we have any other questions? I believe not. Okay, thank you again, ladies, and looking forward to more collaborations, definitely.
Well, thank you for having us. It was a really pleasure to be with you and to have the opportunity to talk to all of these students.
You're welcome, Maria, anytime. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you who have weekends tomorrow, enjoy your weekends. And the ones who have it after tomorrow as well, enjoy yours. See you on another day. Cheers. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ladies. Bye.